Hi everybody, Robert Rentwell here. We are back to talk about the move out make ready process, and we're going to use 4200 Tower Circle as our case study. So bottom line in property management and real estate investing is that you want to reduce the amount of vacancy time. The challenge with that is vacancies. You have no rent coming in and you have expenses coming out. So when we're working with clients or if it's for our own portfolio, this is really the most critical time. This same process that I'm going to show you here, except for the part where we're dealing with the resident security deposit, this is absolutely what you can use this workbook for when you're taking on a new property or taking on a new building. All right? So let's get into it. I have the double screen set up. What I've just gotten done is I've watched the videos that I took over at the property. I took my time going through it as a 2,200 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. It took me about an hour to walk through videotape. I made a paper list. I shot this video about 2 days ago. Now I just spent an hour going through the Master Rentwell Make Ready workbook, and I'm going to show you what we did there. So the first page of the workbook is called Getting Started, and this is really just some instructions for you. So if you click on this Rentwell video, this is the one that you're going to see. It's how to use this workbook. The next phase just reminds you of the next tab reminds you of the different phases that we use when we are taking a property for not rent ready to getting it rent ready. First thing we do is we start with a clean out of the interior and the sorting of all the personal property. We do an exterior cleanup. We put signage. That's phase one. Phase two would be a punch list items. Phase three would be any mechanical items that we want to order. Phase 4 is painting, 5 is flooring, and then 6 is a final safety check, window coverings, cleaning, and trash removal. All right? After that, the field manager or the showing agent, whoever goes there next, can update all the photos and shoot a new marketing video. In the future, we will be doing videos for how your home works, which we'll share with the residents. There'll be one-time videos that we can use for the life of that property. And then it's a sign off from the field manager. Also in the future, we'll have something called a master building sheet, which stores the information for this property. Sorry if you hear a bunch of kids in the background. That's just life at the Coldwells. All right, let's get into the tab. The first thing you do, this may look a little overwhelming, but trust me, it's really not. This is the information that I needed to enter in. I just put the address, what the building was, who the client was, the date of the video, who took the video, who estimated it. In the future, that might be able to be done by 2 separate people, or at least the field manager would have some support. Who's the property manager, who's the showing agent, who's the lead vendor, what's the service request, okay? Our target, excuse me, for this property is to have all of the work completed by the end of the month, and then myself as the field manager, I'm going to sign off on that. All right? The advantage of the workbook is that by entering this information one time about the property, all of the other this information will go into all of the other tabs. There's a tab for the field manager, there's a tab for the client, showing agent, a working foreman on the renovation crew, and a sign-off sheet. So it's all inclusive. I've uploaded the videos here. Okay. And this tab right here is the GC fee. So for this particular client, it is 15%. That's our national average. An upcoming release of this, we will be able to tweak the profit percentages for the GC business. And then we have what's called an efficiency scale. The way the efficiency scale works is that let's say this property is right around the corner from our office and there's plenty of street parking and it's real easy to work in. That's going to get an efficiency scale of, let's say, 100%. So whatever if we say it's going to be $10 in labor, it's going to be $10 in labor because it's 100%. Let's say this is in a high rise, an hour from our office, and it's just more difficult to work there. We might have to worry about parking and everything else. and we want to give our vendors more for the labor. The material stays the same, but more for the labor. We can just increase the efficiency scale. So if we put in 125%, that same $10 in labor would become $12.50. Conversely, if you wanted to reduce it down to make it 90%, the $10 would go down 10%. Okay? For this particular job that we're working on, we would give our independent contractors of our GC business $1,760. The GC business itself would make a gross profit of $772. The total price, including the Rentwell GC fee of the 15%, is $2,912. Now, that is the portion that our GC business is able to do itself. There's also some landscaping that we're going to sub out, and then we're going to make recommendations for a dryer vent cleaning and a chimney to be serviced. So that's where these numbers come in as it relates specifically to our own GC business and Rentwell. I hope you're with me so far. Video notes. So we have the inspection app, which works great. You can use the inspection app, which is going to save you some time on this phase. For me, I shot an hour's worth of video. I took the time to go back in and watch the video again, and then look at my notes, and I wrote down a very thorough list of everything that's needed to be done in this property. Some things that need to be done, right, are in the workbook that I'm going to show you. Other things we need to come up with a price for. Other things we're not charging anybody for. We just need to remember to do them, such as set up Filter Easy. Add this to our grass cutting list. Add this to, we're now in the fall season, so we have our winterizing list. This is a very simple, you enter the information here. So for instance, resurface the driveway. Then for next steps and actions to be taken, you add, this is a drop down. So this says add to the client retail special price special notes section. So there's 4 items here. Resurface the driveway. Take care of the dryer vents, the dryer duct. Take a look at the fireplace and chimney, and then we're recommending to change how the basement stairs are laid out. I think the kids are getting closer. All right, we'll keep moving. So this is where I track to make sure I don't forget anything. So from this list, I'm going to go over to my master price list. The master price list right now, we're working on simplifying it. This list is around 200 lines long. You don't need all 200 lines. For instance, there's nothing to do with appliances on this one in terms of installing a new washer or dryer. Okay? There is some carpentry that needs to be done, so I've called out some carpentry. There is some carpet that needs to be done. All right? Now, the sheet gives you different types. So, for instance, this one, when I walked the room, the padding felt really good. So, we want to save the client a little money and just replace the carpet. So, we need to price to remove the carpet and then install the carpet. So, that's the option that I selected. And we can work with you to adjust these rates based upon your market center. Okay? The way this tab works, I'm going to go through each of these columns. The first is what is a drop down that allows you to select for our standard items. We usually are cleaning a property. We are usually painting a property. We're usually caulking a tub or a bathroom surround, things of that nature. So you can select standard items and get started there. The next category is just that. It's the category for how you find different things. So for instance here, there's appliances, there's carpets, there's a clean out section, there's smokes and COs, decking, doors, drywall, general maintenance, glass, all of these types of things. So we've done a lot of this work for you, even down to window treatments. After that, sometimes we're giving clients an option between 1 or 2 items, so we can mark that here. Then we need to know how we're going to price it. All right? Then we have our project phase. Okay? These are standard based upon our phases. Phase 1 through phase 6. Phase 1 is the clean out, phase 2 is the punch list, 3 is mechanicals, 4 is painting, 5 is flooring, and then 6 is you put it all together and you clean it. After that, we have our skill level. Certain things we're doing ourselves, other things we are having our own independent contractors or employees handle. We have a standard description, and then we customize the notes. When I'm going through my video notes, all of these items here, I am saying are included as part of another item and noted in the special notes per the line item. What that means is I'm letting them know, look, there's a light bulb out in that kitchen. It's a special bulb. And I'm including that as part of cleaning. Okay? So those are the special notes. Who gets the special notes? We generally don't share those with the client. We put those for the field manager, for the working foreman who's running the crew. The next is what we pay our independent contractors. Okay. And what the material is. Then we have our quantity. We're going to want to pause this.